Hi, today I will show you how to interact with Ton blockchain from Aiotx library. You can find Aiotx library on GitHub. On GitHub you have the URL for documentation. Inside the documentation there is a few clients for EVM, UTHO, Tron and Ton client. Inside the Ton client you can see the quick start fast guide how you can create the client and how it should be used. So we are importing Aiotx Ton client from the clients and creating the instance of it. For create it you should use the node URL. You can use Ton Center API URL kind of. So Ton Center are running API and it have a JSON RPC method to connect to it, like pretend you are connecting to the node. So we can use this one as well from Ton Center, or we can use getBlock node for Ton, or you can find your one as well. On Ton Center we have only one request per second. If you want to have more requests per second, you should go into the Ton API bot and get access to higher limits. So you will, for free, you will get the API token, what will allow you to send 10 requests per second. So it should be enough for like simple applications, for wallets or for simple, not very big projects. So you are inserting the node URL. It will be this base URL for the mainnet and another one for the testnet. I'm highly recommended you. Let me show you the actual URL. You can send like dummy empty request and you will see the address. So you should copy all of this, but not add JSON RPC. It will be added by my library by default. So for testnet you are getting testnet.toncenter. For the mainnet you getting just toncenter.com. After this you can add any headers what you want, and we are using the headers logic for add the API key what you will get from this bot. So you will be able to have 10 requests per second. After you created the client, you can start using the methods. You can create a new wallet using the function generate address. Let me show you the details about the generate address method. So in documentation you have a quick start for each of the clients. You have like the basic use functions, how can it be used, and you have the list of methods to see any details about any of these methods. So for generate address method you can see what we are expecting to get: memo address and raw address. So memo, it's like your private key, so you will be able to control this wallet because you have the memo for it. Your friendly URL encoded URL safe address. So in Ton you can have raw address like that, what is including the workchain ID and the raw address. I will tell you about workchain ID a little bit later. And we have the user-friendly URL safe address as well. So you can have only user-friendly address, but you can have user-friendly and URL safe. So that's what you have in here. So you should share this address with your end user, and the end user will use that address to get money from other users or use it into like any blockchain explorers to see his transactions or balance or anything like this. So after creating the wallet, you can get the balance of that wallet. you can use getBalance function, and here for print, as you can see, I'm using ton client from nano function. So after you will use the getBalance function, again we can go down and open the getBalance function in new window. So it will return your integer, and it will be like in cents, like in coins. So after that, in grams, actually in ton terminology, it will be in grams. So you should divide it by 10 in with the 6 zeros, and that's what is from nano function is doing. So here you will get the balance in grams, and you will convert it into ton using this function, and you can print your balance. Next, we have getTransaction function to get last transactions of your address. I'm not sure I'm not sure I can tell a lot about it, because it's really straightforward to use, and I hope it's understandable. Send function. So we can send ton to another addresses. For the send function, you are using the memo like first parameter, address, what it will be the receiver's address, amount in grams, not in tons. Secno is the count of transactions on your address right now. So to prevent like repeatable or wrong transactions because of network, because of unstable working of network, here is Segno is used like in Ethereum blockchains, for example, if you're familiar with. So if your account have only one transaction, this value will be 1, and if you have 2 transactions, it will be 2. So it's to prevent, like, to keep the chain stable. And this parameter is optional, and the library will provide it for you by internal methods. And memo is the comment for the payment what will be seen in the blockchain. So you can like specify what this payment was made for. After successful running on this method, it will return your transaction hash, so you can share it with your end user for them to check what it has been done. It's important to know what if you want to send 2 or more transactions in short period of time, you should use getTransactionCount method to get the Segno before you will send the first transaction, and then increment the Segno for the next transaction. So if you will have 10 or 15 or million of them in the short term, you should manage the Segno by yourself, because then you will send transaction into the network and try to send next one. If we will use getTransactionCount for all of them, it could be the situation then blockchain are not processed your new payment yet, and you are still having the bad old outdated Segno. So that's why you should manage your Segno by yourself if you want to send like few transactions in a row. But we have something more interesting to send few transactions. So all the time we was talking about the classic wallet and classic contract what is now used. At the moment it's version 4 of this wallet contract, but then you are creating the ton client, you can specify another wallet contracts as well, and one of them is high load wallet, I believe it's the name for it, or something like this. This wallet is for the mass payments. So if you want to send 50 or 100 payments at the same time in one transaction, you can use this contract. It should be cheaper for you because it was created for mass sense. Oh, there is a name, high load wallet version 2. So it's important to know what this wallet contracts is very different wallets. So for using this high load wallet, you should create new wallet. So you should generate address using the client with the proper wallet version parameter. So you are not able to send tons and use like standard wallet and do the bulk sends. So it's very different logic. So if you want to use bulk sends, please specify wallet version, and then you should deploy the wallet. It's important because let me maybe show you fast. So in TonScan, you can see we can open any chart, any account. You can see the state as active, and its contract type is wallet version 4 revision 2. So it's the standard contract and it's active. For the default wallets, they will be activated once you will send any transaction. So it's not mandatory for you to deploy standard wallet. That's why we was just sending the ton without any deployment. But here, for the high load wallet, you should deploy it before you will send any money from it, because in other case it will return you the error. So you're creating the client for high load wallet, you are generating new wallet, you deploy it, and after that you should be able to do the bulk send. For the bulk send, again, we can open the documentation for it, and you can see what bulk send method is taking the recipients list, what includes the address, amount of ton to be sent, payload, it's like the memo in the single transaction, so it's the comment, and send mode is set to 1 as example. So here is like you can see send the coins to many wallets. Yeah, there is no functions to get jeton balance or send jetons yet, but it will be added soon, and maybe you are watching this video and it's already added. So yeah, check the documentation. And another interesting bit about Aiotx, it's what you cannot only pull your address transactions and your address balance, but you can monitor all the blockchain state in real time. It's described inside the blockchain monitoring documentation. So you should create the headers for block and transaction, and you can run this function to start the monitoring. Monitoring start block, it's the block what we want to start from, and timeout between blocks is how often we want to pull the blocks. So in main page of TonScan you can see the master chain blocks. Yeah, it's quite different from another blockchains like Ethereum or Bitcoin. In Ton you have the master chain block, and inside this master chain block you have the shard chain blocks, and inside these shard chain blocks you have the transaction. But I have simplified it for the users of my library, and I'm trying to do it in the standard way across all of them. So that's why you will have only the on block handler and on transaction handler. So on any new block you will get on any new master block you will have the master block ID, and on any new transaction you will have new transaction. Here is an example of output. So you will have ton client block blah 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 and ton client transaction blah blah blah. The important bit here, what you are not able to see the value of this transaction, like how much ton was moved or the comment for transaction, because yeah, I'm not sure why, because it's working this way. And for getting the details about this transaction, you should run the get transaction method. It allows you to get like 10 or 50 transactions, but here we are using the raw ton address. The limit transactions as 1 is the timestamp then transaction has happened, and the hash of transaction. So that's way we can get the details of this not very detailed transaction. I have done this way and not getting the details for all of the transactions, because in the ton we have, I hoped it's something here, the amount of transactions for each second. We have 100 transactions each second, so you will run out your API requests very fast if you will check all the transactions. So you can see in the small transaction details, you can see the account number, and if you're interested in this particular account, you can get the details. Or if you need to get all the transactions and all the logic, I think you should pay, you should get paid subscription on GetBlock or on Ton Center, and you will be able to pull all of them. So that's about monitoring. All the code examples, fresh code examples, you can find here in Aiotx examples. So for Ton block monitoring, we are able to see the example here. So you will just set your API key here and you can start using it for the Ton bulk send and for Ton transaction sending. So yeah, that's all how you can use Ton using the Aiotx library. I hope it makes sense for you now, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please join our Telegram channel or chat to discuss any questions, any problems. We are happy to help anyone. Yeah, and thank you for watching.